And really what you're saying is this is a political document. It's 4 pages of what the Democrats in Congress say is misleading and misinterpretation.
Okay, so you're putting a bunch of scenarios there, none of which happened, because I want to talk about the implications of how this has reportedly played out. The Justice Department says don't release it, but then the White House Chief of Staff relays the president's request to the Attorney General anyway.
So the DOJ has used very strong language here. They've actually said it would be extraordinarily reckless to release this classified memo to the public. So I'm very troubled by this. There's some reporting inside Washington that the memo may actually contain not only secret information, but top secret information. When you get into the top secret realm, you're getting into sources, methods, techniques that simply cannot be exposed. And I have to tell you, if this is released publicly without going through proper procedures, I'll be the first one to come on your show, Alex, and call for a criminal investigation of Representative Nunes, because we keep hearing of complaints about leaks in Washington. The president keeps hammering on we can't have leaks. He's hammered Jim Comey for taking an unclassified memo with him when he left the FBI. But now apparently the president is supporting the potential release to the public of what could be secret or top secret information.
And you're picking up on something I had just an instinct, and I'm curious about this memo having been written by staff members of Devin Nunes' office, okay? So I'm curious, is it normal, typical, that staff members of a congressperson would have access to that kind of top secret information?
Actually, it is, and as Assistant Director of the FBI for Counterintelligence, I would regularly brief the Hill, HIPSI, SISI, the Senate and House Intelligence Committees, and the staff members would be present. And yes, indeed, they are cleared, and yes, they could have access to classified. The problem
Which means
is
all the
leakage,
more people
right?
for leaking.
Well, that's right. And so there's already a disturbing number of people that likely have read this, that probably shouldn't have read it. But this needs to go to the proper bodies to get reviewed. My guess is, particularly from what we're hearing from those who are not as partisan, who have read it, is that this is not the smoking gun. We've heard comments that this is bigger than Watergate. It's hard for me to understand how just 4 pages of writing could result in something bigger than Watergate. If there's a flaw in an affidavit for a search for an electronic surveillance application, let's get to it. Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's have the FBI have a chance to fix it.
So the criteria for which you will come right back on my show and talk about things, what is the likelihood of that playing out?
We're hearing the president supports a public release. We're hearing Nunes is seriously considering going beyond DOJ's admonition that it would be extremely reckless to do so. The question now will be whether Nunes will follow existing procedures for a declassification process, which literally would require the president to sign off on declassification of highly classified information. But if he doesn't do that, if he simply recklessly releases it to the media or to the public, that's when I'm on your show saying it's time for a criminal investigation for leaking classified.